Hey, Forex fortune hunters, happy President's Day 2019. It's February 18th, a Monday, and we're recording this video several days after that disastrous retail sales report from the federal government last Thursday. And we're going to take a look at how Double Whammy, our MetaTrader template that we created from a Chandelier Stop and Trend Magic, two great indicators, is going to help you trade that and make your pips. So stand by, hold your hat, and let's get trading. First of all, we're going to back up to last Thursday, when that disappointing retail sales report came out from the federal government. We can see as we're looking at our chart right now, first of all, we have a USD.JPY 30-minute chart on the board, and obviously the dollar was impacted by a soft retail sales report, and we're going to find out how we knew that that was the case looking back in time. If we'd been on some foreign planet for the last few weeks and didn't know why this particular downdraft had occurred. But in any event, here we are, 30 minutes USD.JPY, and obviously this impacted several of the currency pairs, but we'll stick with this one just for illustrative purposes. And first thing we'd like to do is to see that this was Sunday night last night, and we actually came back and began to recover a little bit, and Trend Magic helped us out there. But in any event, if we back up a little bit by grabbing this, we had a nice up move actually in the dollar last week until that retail sales report came out. Now, how would you say, if you didn't know what had happened, if you'd been working on some other consulting project or something during that time, how could you go back and trace what had actually happened? Well, here's our ForexFactory. Let's take a look at this right now. I'll move over here. Hang on one sec. We're going to grab this screen and bring it right in. And you can see that this is ForexFactory.com, and it's the calendar, and we'll go over all of the features of ForexFactory in another video, but this is just a quick reminder as to how to get to areas where you'd like to go back and investigate what might have been happening. It says this week, February 17th through the 23rd. Let's go back 1 week, and it refreshes, and you can see that we were back down here in this area Tuesday, Wednesday, and in fact Thursday, and you can see here 8:30 USD core retail sales month over month down 1.8, and as opposed to expecting just a neutral performance. And the producer price index also falling month over month here with retail sales and so forth. So disaster in terms of expecting any kind of uptick in interest rates based upon inflationary expectations or whatever. So that's the key. As I said, we'll come back to ForexFactory another time and take a quick peek at it. If you would subscribe to this channel and hit the alarm bell next to that subscription opportunity, you can get an alert as to when a video like that will be posted next. So we'll get rid of that for the time being. Now we're going to come over here, and we're going to see again that we have our Chandelier Stop, and we have our Trend Magic, which turned briefly red right here as we came down, but recovered nicely. And a bounce off the chandelier, especially if you're in a higher time frame, is a great way to pick up a trade opportunity which minimizes your risk. Why is that? Well, you can measure right from here that coming back into the line or down, even down to the chandelier, is going to be an 11 pip risk if you get at this point here. And if we were to measure our uptick in the Wednesday time frame up until the end of the day, 35 pips, which is not bad for the USD.JPY pair, even though it's picked up some volatility recently. It came back down. Once again, you can see it did not test it tested the chandelier but didn't take it out. So even though we had this little red, the chandelier just helps me to trade Trend Magic more carefully and safely. Here we go here. We had even a little bit of an uptick of 17 or 18 pips into the Friday morning early session, Asia, and into London. Now, if we were to open this up just a little more, 15 minutes, let's come over this way, pull ourselves back here. Here is our downdraft on Wednesday of last week, and I've added my sessions time indicator. This is the London Open that I've indicated in my indicator, and here is the 7 o'clock open of what I call the U.S. session. Obviously, this area here would be at the time the stock market opened. So from 8:30, we had this downdraft, this wicked downdraft. We turned to 2 reds, which means we're only going to trade to the south. We pulled back into the bands here, into this area, and you can see also that we had, even after this rejection of the trend magic line, even back up to here, a 13 pip risk, and we continued on down for 30 pips into the Friday evening session. Okay, so that's our situation. I'm sorry, into the Friday very early morning session is what I mean. This was a continuation of Thursday. So if you'd stuck with that trade into the Friday morning area, you can see before the two things changed and things began to get dicey, we actually had a nice trade from this area, which was 44 pips against a potential 13, 12, or 13. So that's a nice 3-for-1. 4-for-1 kind of risk reward, and that's what you'd be looking for as you continue to hold those positions. Now notice also over here, as we come into the Sunday session, we had a bit of a rebound and a pullback in the 15-minute chart. And even though this is red, notice we did have into the London session on Monday morning of this February President's Day in the U.S. with the bank holiday and so forth. We did have a little bit of a rebound, and you can see here that we had an 11 pip move. So even from the point of view of being able to scalp this on a holiday, given that if we go to View and we go to Market Watch, and we see over here Euro USD, USD.JPY, which is right up in this area here. Where'd it go? Disappeared on me. We had this. Now if we right click on our chart and we want our spreads, we can see that we're adding a spread, and we had 1.2 pips. So you can still make your scalps off of the USD.JPY without too much difficulty, because the spread of difficulty isn't hard to absorb even at a 15 or maybe even a 5-minute kind of a time frame. So that's our situation here, and we're going to continue with these videos on the Trend Magic and Chandelier combination into Double Whammy. And one last thing before we go, and that is we'd like to add to our video this morning and to our template something that might even take us into what we'd call the triple whammy stage. And what we're doing is to double check and insert yet another indicator, custom indicator. No, oscillators, no, trend. Itchimoku Kinko Hayo. Okay, now what we've done with this particular indicator, and those of you who may not be familiar with it, it has its own moving averages and crossovers and things like that. I just like to use the cloud along with this indicator and other of my templates just to give me a further visual confirmation of whether I should be long or short the market at any particular moment in time. So let's add this in and see how helpful it is. And you can see that we dropped right down through the cloud with this. We pulled back into the bands, but we're clearly short. We topped and pulled down into this area. Now notice we had pulled back up, headed above the cloud, and so you can begin to see we're playing the long side now as opposed to the short side. Even though the Trend Magic is still pretty dicey here with intermittent reds as whites, it's not fully functioning yet. And perhaps if we drive out, we can show you one last way you could conceivably measure this. Here was the updraft last week and then the downdraft last week. If we were to add also our ability to use the indicators here, we had a retracement and back up into the 38, so may not be done yet, quite frankly, on this 1-hour chart with the continuation to the downside, maybe the 127, depending upon what happens when the market gets more active after the holiday session here today. So once again, we're going to try to track this all week this week to see if we can add some pips to our ammo bag. And if you'd like to join in, as I said, just hit that bell, subscribe to this channel, and we'd love to include you for the ride. Thanks for watching. See you next time.